Well, hello guys, welcome back. Before I start this, I want to say I'm not comfortable discussing politics on this channel. I don't think it's my place. I don't want to influence people. That said, as Americans, we're better than this. We're better than the idea of meeting refugees at the border with the military. We're better than walls. We're better than religious intolerance. We're better than violence against other Americans because we don't like the way they worship or the color of their skin. We're better than this. And we are soon going to have an election in which we can decide the fate of our country. It's in our hands. It's not in the hands of the president. It's not in the hands of far-right extremists. It's in our hands. And we have to be the ones to step up and take accountability. I couldn't decide why the gods have been so frantic lately, and then I reintroduced myself to the news. And I thought that with Trump, the easiest thing to do was just to ignore the silly old man saying hateful rhetoric, but unfortunately the silly old man saying hateful rhetoric is inspiring some very dangerous lunatics in this country now. I place it squarely on our leadership that we now have people sending other people pipe bombs and shooting up synagogues and creating mass violence. I entirely blame our leadership because we're moving into an era where this is tolerated and celebrated. And then, of course, so that he never has to take culpability, the president will say, I have no idea where they got these ideas. And you'll be, sitting there stewing because 2 speeches ago he said he likes seeing people taken out on stretchers and people getting body slammed and all this other violence. But he can't imagine why we now live in such a violent country. As president of the United States, you have to grow up. You have to be an adult. You have to get into a position of leadership. You cannot play favorites. You cannot favor one group of people over another. It's a very hard job. It's one of the, if not the hardest jobs in the world. And unfortunately, we got a man that has run every business he's ever owned into the ground in a position of leadership. And he's pretty much doing a good job of dividing this country, making us hate each other. But we're better than that. As Americans, we can disagree with each other. We can downright hate each other at sight and not harm each other. It's one of the unique abilities we have as Americans that we can usually go have a cup of coffee and vent our frustrations. We can even yell at each other in our governmental positions and still not come to fisticuffs, still not come to hitting each other. It's a sad and scary time in this country. It's not a thing for us to be proud of as Americans. And we have to remember all of our ancestors came to this country at one point or another, whether they came here willingly or unwillingly. All of our ancestors came to this country. So to see the rise of one group of people claiming that it is their country should frighten the hell out of you. I know it frightens me. I'm not saying be scared of these people, but do be frightened for what it means, because it means the rest of us are being passive. It means the rest of us are doing nothing, and we're just letting the cute little men in their khaki shorts with their torches run around doing things. This should scare us, because most of these speeches sounded better in the original German. We have a president that declared himself a nationalist. The word that usually goes in front of that in this country is white. So we should be concerned as an American people. And when the elections come up, we have to vote with our conscience. If you think this is now the greatest country on the earth, you have to vote that way. If you think that this country has gotten as scary as hell and you're not going to take it anymore, you have to vote that way. But you have to vote. Make sure that, we know what we're doing this time. Make sure we know who we're electing. I think that it's due to a part that it's not as easy as it seemed sometimes to get the proper facts and, what someone's actual platform is, and do they live by that platform, or have they flip-flopped in the past. We have so many smear campaigns, it's sometimes hard to get to the truth. Pray to your gods, pray to Loki, pray to whomever your god is, and vote with your conscience. Vote for what you think will truly make this country safer and better for all Americans, not just a select few, all Americans. And, make sure that this is a country to be proud of and that people are safe in our streets, that they don't have to worry about going to a rock concert or synagogue or church or the mall or anything else. You know, God's forbid it gets worse. So, you know, we have a chance in November to turn this around, to make sure that those in charge get the clear message that we're not going to tolerate violence in this country. We're not going to tolerate bigotry or xenophobia. It will always be with us, but there's no reason for it to be front and center in the White House. It's absolutely abhorrent to me as an American that we have a president with these values. At first I ignored him as a stupid old clown, and what could he possibly do? Well, now we've seen what he can possibly do. We've seen what that style of leadership has led to. We have a lot of dangerous people emboldened. And I don't want people to fight back with violence. Violence just gets more violence, but, you know, do be aware of where you are. Do be aware of where this country is, and just, you know, you don't have to be frightened. You don't have to be afraid. Gods are always with us, but at the same time, if we sit here and do nothing, that's evil enough. So we have to decide in November what we think is best for this country. And you're not my enemy. I don't care what party you vote for. I don't care how you vote. You're not my enemy. We're not supposed to be enemies in this country just because we disagree on politics. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. But, you know, I felt as an American, I had to say something. I love this country. I do. As many stupid things as this country can do on a daily basis, I still love this country, and I want what's best for her. And I want what's best on a global scale as well. So, you know, just take care of one another and be safe. And, you know, as the elections come up, vote with your conscience. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.